Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 here with another Transformers video review, and today we are going to be looking at, I'm trying to remember the actual name of this. I'm not even sure if there was actually one given, but yeah, this is a cyber robot. Well, we'll just call it Cyber Robot's take on a budget primus, really. Just a quick look at the box here. We got his little robot mode, and you can see my package was kind of scrunched up in transit. Quite a couple, probably the last like 4 or 5 things I've ordered from overseas have come with crunched boxes, so that's nice. Here we got the robot mode, there we got the planet mode, just words and stuff on the bottom, logo on the top that I can't read. And that's it for the box. It does come with some lovely instructions. Very straightforward. So there is that. And he does actually come packaged in robot mode, but I wanted to start with the planet mode. And you can see he does have a stand that sort of works like a globe. Some of the sculpting does kind of catch on the bar, whatever this is supposed to be. I don't know globe terminology. But he just pegs in here on the bottom. And this part here, which is essentially his legs, is actually sculpted pretty much identical on both sides, just painted slightly different. Like there's like a tampograph on this side but not on this side. Here there's some paint, here there's not. This side is gold, this side is red. You can sort of see what I mean. The top half that is like his torso is asymmetrical though. Here's this big ridge here. I'm not familiar with all the cities and stuff and where they're supposed to be, so I can't say for sure what is what if it's sculpted to exact detail. There's also like little words and things, like there's some words there and a tampograph there. 002, 04, globe. Yes, it is a globe. But yeah, it's kind of neat. Has some decent paintwork and some nice sculpting. And then come here to the stand for a second. This does actually come apart. You just pop this off. And then you fold this here at the hinge, and that's going to be his weapon and his shield. Flip up that peg. So there is that. And while I don't really have a good comparison for his little planet mode, here he is next to Leader Class Optimus. That camera a little bit just so you get an idea. He's kind of like in between a Voyager and a deluxe scale. He's got rather simple engineering though, but it's not too bad because he costs like, I think after shipping he was like 25 bucks, so he was a little bit less than like a retail deluxe, so good price all things considered. But we'll go ahead and move on to transformation here. And we're just gonna come here to these side panels and pop them off, like so. Pop it off, like so. Then we're gonna take these panels here, rotate them around. They're on a hinge and a ball joint. And then we're gonna take this tab right here and plug it into this slot here, like so. Rinse and repeat for the other side. Bring that around, tab that in. You know, lift this panel up for now, and then we can just sort of bring the whole torso up. And then you want to sort of accordion his waist into place, like so. And then you can start bending the knees. And then just gonna bring the knees up, and they have these tabs that are gonna go into his kneecaps, like so. Then these are going to rotate up, and there's this little slot here that this post tab will go in. It's not like a super secure lock, but it's basically just a place for it to sit. The joints are tight enough that it won't like flop around though. Then we are going to pull on this and bring us foot, and then we're going to slide it down until it clicks. And we can go ahead and separate those legs, bring them down, orient them like so. Bring that panel back down if you want. Coming up here to the top, we're just going to sort of separate these two panels, and they're on a hinge and a sort of like L piece, and you're going to bring those down over his like shoulder pads like so. Then his arms are on a double hinge, and you're just going to bring those down to line up with his torso, with his chest. Straighten the elbows. And then personally what I like to do is these panels here are also on a hinge and a ball joint, and I just sort of bring them back and around and just sort of like kind of have the back panels of the planet there on his back. And there we have Primus in his robot mode. And this, make sure that these are, there we go. So yeah, and he's a pretty good Primus overall, especially for the price. He's got plenty of painted details on the robot mode as well. Nice metallic blue for the shoulders and like the crotch piece. Very bright red for his chest. He's got plenty of gold decals on his head for the sort of cheek vents and the head crest, as well as his eyes. He's got some gold tampografs there on his forearms. And his articulation is a little simple, but it's not too bad. As far as the shoulders, we'll sort of get this out of the way so we can show it. Do believe they're on ball joints. They get a full 360. They do get some up and down at those hinges, and again ball joints, ball jointed elbows, so you get plenty of movement there. Fortunately, no movement at the waist or at the wrist due to the waist, no, because of the transformation. Wrist is just a solid piece. Do get that far out at the hips. Do get to kick all the way forward and most of the way back before collision. I mean, you can kind of chicken leg it. Do get a thigh swivel. Do get kind of double jointed knees due to that transformation, so you do get some movement there. The feet do lock into place, so you don't really get much movement there. His head is on a ball joint, but it's kind of a weird stiff ball joint that like sticks back into, or maybe now it's not like that. Huh, I wonder what I just did. Yeah, head's on a ball joint, so you get plenty of wiggle waggle and whatnot there. And then again, his stand can come back in for weaponry, and this is sort of like a under the arm tonfa blade, and just stick that in his hand from below. And the shield is kind of awkward because due to the fact that this, something fell off the table, due to the fact that the peg here is just so short, it kind of collides with his shoulder pad. But it can go on either arm in this post hole bag. As you can see, it kind of bashes into his shoulder. So I do try and angle it forward so that it doesn't like scrape against it a bunch. But yeah, you do have some options there as far as how you want to display him, which is neat. And again, you know, the engineering on him is not super complex, but he costs, like after shipping and everything, he costs about as much as a deluxe. So he is very inexpensive. And especially a good alternative to the what was it, the 01 Studios Primus, which is like $400 or something. But I do at least have a Unicron we can compare him to. This is the Takara Armada Universal Dominator one. I do have the 01 Studio Unicron, but he's a bit more of a pain to move, so I'm only just gonna show him next to this one. But you can see he is a small boy. He's a small boy. And here he is again next to Optimus. You can see he sort of expands well. He's taller now. But yeah, a very cool figure, and again, a very inexpensive option to add a Primus to your collection, because he's not despite being one of the most well-known characters amongst the fandom, he does not have very many toys. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's only ever gotten like the one in what was it, Cybertron, and that was like it. And then I know that they did a repaint with the Universal Dominator Unicron at that time, and I didn't manage to get that one either. So this is the first Primus I've been able to get my hands on. So yeah, it's a pretty good option, all things considered. I'm very glad I picked this guy up. But yeah, if you're looking to add a Primus to your collection and you don't want to break the bank, you know, trying to get a one on the aftermarket or pay for that really big one from 01 Studios, this is going to be your best bet. I do believe he sold out in a lot of places pretty quickly. I got mine from TF Source, or not TF Source, TF Direct, and it took like a month for him to get here, but overall, very much worth it. Very good figure. Very satisfied. So yeah, I think that's about it. As far as a rating, I think a 9 out of 10 would be good. He's very simple, but like considering how much he costs and what the budget for him probably was, he's great. So yeah, I think a solid, 9.5. I think a 9.5 is fair. He's not, I don't think he's a perfect 10, but he's very, very good for what he is. So, yeah, I think I'll go ahead and wrap things up there. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.